Okay, so week four. Week four was the do or die crunch time. So it's like whatever that you need help or practice with, make sure you tell your instructor, hey, I'm still struggling on straight line back, or I'm struggling on offset, or I'm struggling on the parallel. Because that Saturday, well, at my school, they test on Saturday. And if you fail, you come back the next day, which is Sunday, for retraining. And then Monday, you take it again. Because I believe it's different everywhere. But in Texas, you have to wait 48 hours. Don't quote me on that. And like I said, that's Texas. It may be different in the city and state that you're in, but you have to wait 48 hours after a failed result. So how it goes in Texas, you have to pass the outside pre-trip inspection for your tractor and your trailer. And you also have to pass an in-cab inspection, which consists of the air brakes test. Once you pass that, then you move on to doing the maneuvers. And like I said on the other video, the maneuvers are controlling your vehicle as you're traveling backwards or the straight line back, doing an offset to your left or to your right, and performing a parallel park. And once you complete those three, then you move on to the final step, which is the road test. And they're just basically, they're trying to make sure that you're safe on the road. So that they want to make sure that you're not speeding, that you're not impeding traffic, you're not going to run a stop sign. They want to check that you're making sure that you know your bridge clearances, so you won't come up to a bridge and you can't fit underneath it. And you'll be like, oh, what am I supposed to do? Do I try to hit a U-turn, or do I try to chance it going underneath it and tear it up? And, you know, they want to make sure that you're checking for pedestrians, any type of hazards. Like on my test, I called out everything. You don't have to, but I'd rather be safe than sorry, because they don't. Only thing he told us before, well, what he told me before we drove off the property, I'm in control of the vehicle. He told me don't speed. If I go 1 mile over, that's an automatic fail. He'll take me out the seat and he'll drive it back. If I go too slow for too long, I'm impeding traffic now. That's an automatic fail. He'll take me out the seat and we'll come back. And I have to do it again on Monday. He told me if I hit a curb, that's an automatic fail. And he'll pull me out the seat and we'll come back. And what was the other one? If I run a stop sign, that's an automatic fail. The rest of the stuff, it's not an auto fail. It's more of a judgment call. So me, myself, I didn't want to chance it. So at yield signs, yield doesn't mean you have to stop, but it doesn't mean disregard it either. So it just so happened all my lights were green. So I never had to, go on the brakes or anything like that, far as if it turned yellow or red. I don't think Swift wants you to try to chance a yellow light. You just probably wouldn't make it through the intersection. So if the lights would have turned yellow, I probably would have stopped. Luckily, I didn't have to deal with that, because in my mind, the guy said about impeding. If I stop at a yellow light, I'm impeding, right? So, like, I know he says judgment call, so I don't know. All my lights were green. So now I had 3 areas where I had to yield. And each of those areas, luckily for me, it was a car coming, so I really had to stop. So I don't know if I did not have a car coming or a potential hazard, what he wanted to hear. So I had to say hazard to my left, which I had vehicles coming from my left. My yield sign was on my right side, so I had to stop. I stopped. I told him it was a hazard. I told him once it's clear, and I had my I'm about to pull out into the right lane. So I had my right turn signal on. I said, once the hazard is clear and it's safe to do so, I will proceed. And once all 18 wheels are inside the lane, I will cancel my signal. Now, you don't have to say it like that, but I just want to make sure that he heard all of my intentions. You want to make sure that your intentions are conveyed and heard by whoever's doing your road test. So I called out my lights. I said I have a still green light. If it was already green before I approached the intersection, I called off side streets. So as I'm driving, I say side street to my right. So I'm saying it, I look, and I look back. And then as I'm driving, I'm constantly looking around, making sure I don't have anybody in the blind spots. If someone pulls in front of me, which they will, because you're in the big truck, they just assume that it's slow. And I wasn't traveling slow because he told me he's gonna film me. But so, like I said, the speed limit, if the area is 45, I tell them to say speed of 40, so I have a cushion. I can go between 40 up to 44, even 45, as long as I don't go 46. So I made sure I was doing like 42. So people are going around me, and I tell them I have a hazard on my left because I stayed in the slow lane. The hazard is clear. They jumped in front of me. I said at this time, I'm still driving. I don't stop. I said I'm going to use whatever I use as a marker, and I said I will count 6 seconds, and I will keep my 6 seconds of following distance. And that's stuff that they want to hear, because that's stuff in the book, and that's what's wants you to do 6 seconds of following distance when you're in the regular city. Now on the highway, it's a little bit different. I think they want 12 to 15. Don't quote me on that. I have to check it. So that's what I was doing. As you approach an intersection, they want you to look before. That's why they want you to go left, middle, right, middle, before you enter the intersection. Once you're inside the intersection, you want to do the same thing. And then as you clear, they want you to do it too, but this time you're just looking at the mirrors. As you approach a railroad crossing, it's not like a school bus. You don't have to stop unless, you hear the audibles and the train coming, but they want you to crack your window and you have to say, I'm listening for the rail audibles. I don't see any. And just like intersection, I'm looking before, during, and after, just to make sure, because sometimes the warning lights can be malfunction and you still have a train coming. So you just gotta use your best judgment and let them know, whoever's sitting in the passenger seat that's grading you, that you are aware of it. I crack my window. I'm looking. I don't see a train coming. I don't see any rail equipment coming. So it's safe for me to go through it. You have to do that. And then somewhere along that route, they're going to ask you to perform a safety stop. So I always got nervous and I don't know, because I just was treating my practice drive time as my real test. So I know it's coming, but they don't let you know where. So when he told me to do it, he said, okay, let's pull over and do a safety stop. So you signal, of course, you're gonna go to your right-hand side. I tell him what I'm doing. I move over. You pull your parking brake. You take your hands out the steering wheel. You sit back, and you say, "At this time, I'm performing my safety stop. I will not block any driveways or water hydrants. And if I'm here more than 10 minutes, I will place out my 3 red reflective triangles behind my trailer. The first one will be placed at 10 feet. The second one, 100 feet. The third one, 200 feet. And you have to make sure you say that. And you say it like that, but in Texas, different. If you pull over off the road in Texas, you're supposed to immediately do it, but they told us if it's 10 minutes, so that's what I told them. So yeah, I did that. He was writing on his paper, and then once he finished writing, he told me, okay, let's continue on. You make sure you cut back on your blinker, turn off your and I cut on you have to cut on your hazard lights. Turn them off, signal that you're about to get back on the road. Hopefully you remember the speed limit. Make sure you remember the speed limit that you were doing, and because they want to hear it. So once you signal, get back on that road, you want to say the speed limit in the area where we did. The speed limit was 35, so my safe speed was 30. So it lets them know that even though this happened, you're still paying attention. You're mindful of what's going on. So yeah, that's how it went. And yeah, I passed. So I passed on my first go, and all the stress was lifted, the anxiety. Because I've never been a good test taker. I mean, I take that back. I test good, but I get nervous. I get like a test anxiety or whatever. So I don't care to do it. If I do it, I know I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna pass it. And I wasn't trying to go for a 100 perfect score. I just wanted to pass. And even he told me that. He said, man, you're a good driver. He said, you just turn wide on all your turns. And I didn't want to tell him because, you know, he graded me. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, that's all. I'd rather you say that than, hey, you hit a curve and test is over, you fail. So I was like, yeah, I told him, yeah, I had to work on my turns. But I'm like, nah, I wasn't finna hit no curve. So the goal is not to make 100 on your CDL exam. Your goal is to get your CDL. Because when you see me or anybody else at a truck stop, at a terminal, we're not gonna be like, hey man, did you make 100 on your? No, we're gonna be like, congratulations. Or we might ask you, man, how was it? Or we're not asking what your score is. We just, I'm just gonna be happy that you made it. So I don't care about scores. So yeah, so I'm done with school. That was the longest I've ever been without having an income. That's stressful. Whether you're single or you married like me with kids. I have a kid, so yeah, that was stressful, man. So now I'm just in the wait and see phase. So so one more thing. So the school gives you a little gift bag once you get through. So I am official. They gave me this, and now they gave me some paperwork for legal reasons and safety sensitive stuff. I can't show you the paperwork because it has my government name, it has my driver code, so I can't show that. I'm transparent, but not that transparent. But they did give me this. So if I get in some trouble or how to do my pre-trip, hopefully that's showing up. Just got some good helpful tips, and it's laminated. They gave me a water bottle for passing and graduating. Got a safety pocketbook, regulations. I got some nice pens. See the Swift on there. Yeah. Stress ball. And a little jump drive keychain. So that was cool of them. So yeah, that was, so you get a nice little goodie bag when you complete the academy. And I believe I get another one that's going to be a little bit bigger and have more stuff once I upgrade. So upgrading, that's when after you finish going out with your, at Swift, they call them mentors, but they're your trainer on the road. Swift does 240 hours or up to 300, depending on the individual, if you need it, or if you request it, like, hey, I don't feel like I'm ready. Can I go to full 300? Some companies do miles, 30,000 miles, 50,000 miles, and then you upgrade. So the upgrade, I will do a video on that, how that goes. So now, like I said, I'm just in the wait and see phase. I'm waiting to hear from my whoever gonna be my mentor. I've spoken to they call driver. Now I'm in the qualifying phase. I shouldn't say wait and see. It's called driver qualification. So now I'm hired on, but now I have to qualify. I have to do stuff that's in that packet that I can't show you. I have to do that stuff, and it just consists of me doing back-end maneuvers, talking to shippers, stuff like that. Working on they have, some companies have the Qualcomm, Swift, we have a Zonar, so stuff like that. So I will, if I can, document that stuff. It's not going to be my truck, so I'll ask whoever my mentor is, if they don't mind. If they do, then, you know, it's just going to be a delay with my video, and I'll just do it when I get my own truck. So yeah, I'll make sure I keep you posted. So I'm waiting to get a call back. So yeah, I'll keep you posted.